ECS Magazine Hangout show. This is an awesome show where we bring in people from all around the automotive community to talk about, well, everything automotive. It's a place that we welcome people that if you run a shop, if you run racing, if you just like cars, anything like that, you have a place here. This is actually sponsored by Control Freak, controlfreakcompany.com. And I am VIP Primo. I am going to be your show master for tonight. And we have over to my left over here, the owner of ECS Magazine, Reggie. How's it going, Reggie? Hey, look at he's dodging. So Reggie right now is going to be working on some stuff in the production side of things. But as always, I want to start off with a very strong panel tonight. And we do have one. We're going to start off with Miss Patty. If you can let everybody know your name, introduce yourself. What do you do? And introduce yourself to the show.
So my name's Patty Pineda. I am the, well, what would you say, editor. I co-own Mini Truck Era magazine with my husband. We are two mini truckers. We both own mini trucks, old school. Let me clarify, we're old school.
Nice.
Old school mini trucks, and that's what we do.
What kind of mini trucks do you own right now?
I own a 1985 Nissan 720 single cab and 92 Suzuki Samurai. 92. And my husband also owns a 85 Nissan 720.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, is there anything done to these these trucks, and like, what kind of things do you have on them? What's the? Well, it's going to get crazy, isn't it?
on my truck, she's tilted, and she has 415. Help me out, boy. JBLs speakers, original to the era. They're 80 speakers, 1980 speakers.
That's awesome.
She's loud. And so does the Suzuki. Suzuki has she has what, 5 or 6? 6 10-inch speakers.
Nice.
You know, I just drive them. He does all the work. I just drive them.
Have you ever had
what I want, and he does it.
Have you ever had the decibels rated on that thing so you can find out how much noise it's making?
I never have.
Oh, that would be awesome. I want you to put that on the schedule for the future, because I'm telling you, if it's one thing I love about them, especially with era specific stuff. I love hearing how much sound they actually make and the differences between now and then. That's one thing we do certain things on the show, but it's very hard to kind of say to people, this is what the experience is like. So that's the thing is down the road, we're probably going to have people put in and give us like sound bites and stuff so we can hear the differences and things. But
I'm going to be honest with you. When I had my truck built, I told the guy that built it, I go, I don't want to hear bass. I don't want to hear boom, 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 boom. Mm-hmm. That's not what I am. I'm old. Yeah. I'm going to go deaf.
That wasn't what it was like in the 80s. So I
want to hear the music. I want to hear the voice and the music. And I go, that's what I want to hear. Yeah. And he did what I asked him. I mean, the young kids want the bass and want the truck to shake and make noise, but I didn't. I wanted to hear the music.
Yeah.
That's what I want. And that's exactly what I wanted is what he did.
And now you got the perfect truck, right?
Oh, I love my truck.
And then you're going to have another truck and then another truck after that. Right?
I tried that. My husband tried that. He bought me an 85 Toyota, thinking, I'm going to fall in love with this Toyota and then maybe I'll sell my truck. And that didn't happen. We ended up getting rid of the Toyota before my truck.
That's hilarious.
But my truck, I tell him, my truck's special.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. She's my baby.
Yeah. Well, before we go on, I want to make sure that our second guest here, who is no stranger to the pack. Welcome back, David. Introduce yourself and tell everybody what you're about, buddy.
Good evening, guys. Yes, thanks for having me back. Dave Morgan, Nexus, New England. We are a group of, actually, I'm a solo group. I'm riding solo, but we cover the Northeast area, car show area, cruise nights, whatever you have. Just hanging out, taking pictures, talking to people, and just letting everybody know what the Northeast has for the automotive culture. But I was having a really cool time listening to what you had for the trucks and the mini trucks.
We're going to get back to that real soon.
That was awesome. Yeah, I was like, oh, that sounds so cool. Old school, because we are old school. I guess we're old school, right? We're all getting up there in age. But yeah, it's pretty cool listening to that. So again, thanks for having me back on, guys.
Do you have any new videos coming out soon that we need to know about, or?
Yeah, it'll be out Easter. Yeah, it'll be out tomorrow. So I'm
Nice.
finishing up on that, and then I'll be it might even be out tonight, like late tonight. I'm a like a late night type of person. I'm up 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So
Me too. Yeah.
it'll be out tonight. So yeah, well Easter. Let's say
And
Easter.
you'll send me the special VIP link, right?
I hope so. If you don't mind getting some 3 o'clock in the morning, hey, check this out. But but yeah, we'll be going.
I'll already be up, so it is what it is.
Yep, there you
All
go,
right,
man.
so we had somebody else that's joined the chat here. Would you mind introducing yourself and telling everybody where you're from?
Hi, I'm Amber Smith. I'm from Knightstown, Indiana.
I'm sorry, what was that again now? The Knights of
Knightstown, Indiana.
Oh, okay. Okay, what and do you run a shop? Do you have anything that you do or
Well, I'm just a female in the mini truck scene. I've taught myself body work. I'm trying to teach myself how to paint right now. And I just dabble in a little bit of everything.
Awesome. We all that's just kind of the car scene, isn't it? Like you start off on one thing, next you know how to change everything, and then you know how to weld, and now you're building your own vehicle, and you're like, what the heck happened, right?
Right.
By the way, it does end with where's my 10 millimeter, and that you're never going to find the answer to that. We're still working on that one. So,
Exactly.
tonight's show, we're focusing on ladies of the automotive industry. And the thing is there's a lot of stuff in here that I think the world doesn't talk about. So I want to make sure that we kind of discuss all that. But before we do, we got somebody else joining the chat here. And who is my sixth person today?
ECS Dana.
ECS Dana. And you do your photography, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. Awesome. So I don't even know where to start here. That's the thing is we got some stuff that does with trucks. We have some stuff that does with more trucks and some all different things here. So I guess I'm going to start off with you, Miss Patty.
Yes.
Can you give us some input of kind of what it's like to be a lady in the scene, how long you've been doing the car thing and what it's like?
We're old school mini trucks. I don't know. I think there's a little difference between the new school and the old school. So the old school mini trucks died in the late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
It went away.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm going to say 8 years ago, it started coming back. My husband's club brought it back. They started building the old school trucks with the dancing beds and the tilt beds and all that. And it was hard as a woman in that scene to get recognized. But fast forward 8 years now, we have in our club, we have 4 wives now with trucks.
Yeah.
So the girls are coming out with their own trucks and their own style, and now we have there's a lot of women out there in the old school here in the West, in the clubs and the old school clubs that are coming. I mean, there's a lot of clubs coming out. We have desirable ones, the exotics and all, and the exotics have a couple of girls in their club with trucks as well. So it's a growing. I mean, our third issue was all females mini truckers.
Yeah.
So we had awesome. a lot of females that had trucks out there. We just had to look for them. And it was to this day, it's one of the biggest selling magazines we had was the female issue.
Nice.
It's crazy. I wouldn't think that, they're not going to accept us. They're not going to want us. And it was the biggest selling magazine.
Well, did you find in the past that there was kind of like, I don't also say it like this, like in New England, we have Lady Driven New England. So it's a specific all girls organization that they put their stuff together. They do their own racing stuff. And one of the things that they had said before was that they've always been around. It's always doing the car thing. They just needed an opportunity or something to kind of pull them in and allow them. Is that really the trick to this? Is that we have and this is something that if anybody wants to jump in and answer it, you can, that when that opportunity arose to be able to say, hey, you're accepted, come on in. We want you to be that car scene, that they, you quickly just took the ball and ran with it. Would you think that would be true?
I think so. I honestly think so. It was when I noticed that we were totally accepted by our fellow mini truckers and people. We did a parade.
Nice.
And the 3 women were driving their own trucks in our club. So we had the men, the husbands, and then we had the women with. My husband said, I stopped playing my bed because you guys were getting so much attention. They were like, look at the girls, look at the girls. And
Yeah.
he goes, I stopped playing my bed because you guys were killing it.
Yeah.
They were so excited to see females with dancing beds
Yeah.
because you didn't see it as much before.
Right.
So that's when I noticed that we were being accepted. We were in the game now.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, go ahead, Amber.
I just want to interrupt. So between me and my husband, we've been doing this for 20 years now, and
Nice.
I bought my first mini truck 7 years ago. So I've been doing this alongside with my husband for 7 years with my own truck.
Nice.
So to be accepted in the community with fellow mini truckers, I've been welcomed with arms wide open from everybody in all walks of the automotive industry, to be honest with you. So I'm in the Midwest, so it's not really uncommon to see women out here with trucks or any type of custom vehicle. Now, I mean, mini trucking has died down, but it's coming back, and it's coming back hardcore, and it's coming back with the old school mini trucks too. With, like she said, the dancing beds are coming back, the underbody glows are coming back, the old school graphics are coming back. I myself is starting to design some graphics for my truck that I want to put on next season. And I just think that a lot of people don't understand. I'm part of it's a Facebook book, but it's called Female I'm sorry.
Okay. Take your time.
Trucker Association.
Yep.
And we have a group of 500 women strong right now, and they all own custom vehicles.
Wow.
And they don't just have to be mini trucks. They're just
Right.
custom vehicles, period. You don't have
Can I
to
join?
have,
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to have just a specific truck per se, but anything automotive that's custom that a woman has, I think a man should stand behind her, whether they're together or she's single, and support her in her passion. Just because, we're women, we can be feminine. I'm a very feminine person myself, but I like to get dirty. I like to learn new things. The truck that I have now, I bought it completely done, turnkey, ready to go, but I stripped her down and repainted it. I didn't repaint it myself. I wish I kind of did. But my first truck, I did all the body work on it myself as a trial and error. And I think that with my husband supporting me and pushing me to my goals was a big part of, learning that and accepting that. And I think if men just stand behind women and accept us into the scene, that a lot more young girls see us out there, they're going to be like, I want to be like that. I want to have that too. And it can just grow as a community.
Yeah. Now I'm going to get to some chats real quick. Chaotic Danny over here saying hi. Greg BC, Patty, you are awesome. Vinny Kayata with the word up, and Vinny is saying, I bought my wife a 53 Plymouth. She has her own hot rod and will be out cruising soon. Chaotic Danny added, good to see the ladies enjoying themselves in the scene. And Greg added, Brandy Chrisman, and I can't see that top of get in there, I think is what he was saying. One thing I want to ask, and this is again open to everybody here. And you were saying, that's the other thing, Amber, I think you'll be best gauged to answer this because you've been in this for 20 years now. How much more assistance do you see now than you do when you first started from men or whoever? You know what I mean?
Way more now, because women are starting to come out and show that they can do it instead of hiding behind their husbands and saying, oh, well, we built this. No, I built this. My husband didn't build it. It wasn't a group effort. It was, I did this myself. Versus 7 years ago when I first got mine, it was, oh, that's cute. You and your husband are building one together. No, I'm building this.
Right.
He has
awesome.
his own, I would say 20 years ago, I would go to a car show and sit there and be like, well, this is kind of boring, because it's just like, it was a dude thing. It was like what the guys did. And the wives would sit there and be like, well, this is boring. Like, where's all the other girls at? Where's your wife at? Oh, well, she sits at home because this isn't her thing. Well, why isn't it her thing? Why isn't she here? Well, she's just not into it. Well, why isn't she into it? but nobody can answer why. Well,
Yeah.
I can tell you why. It's because she doesn't have it herself.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
when my husband got something that I really liked, I was like, well, I want one. I want
Yeah.
one myself. So
Right.
let's do this together. Let's get like his and hers, because that would be cool. So when we did that, I started meeting more people, and then I started meeting more girls, and the girls started coming out, and then I started making more friends, and then it flourished. And the more women that put themselves out there and show what they have and their passion and set that goal, then the more it's going to grow, and the more that automotive that the impact that women have in the automotive industry is going to boom.
Yeah. Well, I've already seen it. Like and it's funny because like I've been doing this for way longer than I care to admit, because it'll have to connect to my age in some way, and it'll get scary. But it was the thing is a lot of times doing everything that I've done, it was weird because you'd see a lot of the women that were in it. A lot of the guys you would talk to were just dying. They would do anything to kind of say, you know, how do I get my girlfriend involved, or how do I find a car woman, or all this stuff. And it was so hard to get. I guess it was, I don't even know how to explain it. Just maybe it wasn't an opportunity or something there. But like my friend, his name is Scruffy, and he has a his and hers Porsche, and they raced everywhere. They get up at 6 a.m, they go out, they both race together, they both have they do the exact same stuff. So it was like, and my wife was always like, yeah, when we finally do it the way we're going to do it the same way, and have the, you know, the his and hers racing kind of stuff. But it's almost like I wanted to say that potential was always there. It was always the question for me was, what do we move the catalyst to get, you know, the more ladies involved in it and more engaged in it. And that's the thing is I think for some reason now that catalyst has just kind of happened without even doing anything. It's finally just, you know, the ladies raised their hand. They said, hey, I want to do this. I can turn a wrench. I can weld. I have many female friends right now that, you know, just got welding licenses, and they were like, we're going out to do welding. And, you know, they do it as a job, and they have, with those jobs come Instagrams and all this other stuff. And they're trying to put their name out there, and it's no different than any other shop out there. And I've never seen anybody not be supportive. And that's I think that, I don't know if that's different any place else. That's the things I've only lived in kind of the car world. But I mean, is anybody here? I'm going to read these real quick. So Joel Chappell, is it me, but does it seem like the ladies are real bigs into trucks and Jeeps more than autos? I don't know. We have a very, I guess, was very biased panel today. Would that be true? Everybody here is truck people. So, but that's the thing is I mean, it, like Reggie up there with a thumbs up. But yeah, that's the thing is anybody in here ever had any pushback from the car world and said, you know what, I bought my truck or I bought my aftermarket vehicle, and you know what, somebody came up and said, no, you're just a lady buying it, you're not serious about this, et cetera, et cetera. Can you guys give me some examples of that, or if it happened? Nothing.
I get so much help with, I mean, I'm not like the girls out here that work on their own truck. I don't work on my truck.
Yeah.
We worked on the Suzuki together, but the truck my husband built it because I'm not mechanically inclined.
Yeah.
I'm a photographer. I take pictures. I do the magazine, and he does all the truck stuff. I just tell him what I want.
Exactly.
You know, but my truck I don't know if you guys know my truck. My truck was on Snowfall. She was in one of the seasons of Snowfall.
Huh.
So
no, I didn't see that, but I would definitely want to look it up.
Yeah, I think it's season 3, episode 1.
Okay.
She's posted outside Jerome's stereo shop.
Huh. Okay,
Yeah,
cool. That's awesome.
She's very popular. People know her by that show.
Yeah.
That's where I got the ideas for the speakers.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Because they put DJ speakers in back of her at the show.
Nice.
So I saw that and I really fell in love with it. I mean, I don't know how to build DJ speakers, but we have friends, and my friend Mark is like, I could build that for you. I could build what you want. And so we get a lot of support with that truck. From day one, when my husband brought it, it was a piece of junk. Literally, it was going to the junkyard.
Those are the best cars.
Yeah, although if I showed you a picture, you would. I mean, there was rats living in the cab, and they were eating the seats, and it was. I was so mad at him. I go, "You bought me that piece of junk."
Yeah.
But he had a vision, and I didn't
Mhm.
have that vision. But we had so much help building her from day one. Our club members all donated. I call her the donated truck because all the parts on the truck, it's donated from our club members.
That's
Oh, it's for
awesome.
Patty's truck. Let's give her that. And to today, she had a motor swapped. Kate something. Don't ask me. Like, I'm not. He does all that, but she got her. And the guys that did the motor swap helped me so much with her. Any issues, they come down and check her. And shout out to Terry Thornberry out there.
Nice.
But
Probably watching too. So
I got so much support with that truck from day one, from building her. That's why I can't get rid of her. He wanted me to get rid of her because she was giving us so much issues till we did the motor swap.
mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I can't get rid of her. I
Yeah.
tell him she's famous.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
You
now
know?
that's it. I mean, you gotta
So-
wait for you gotta get in a couple of more shows, then you get one or two
Right.
shows, and then once you get that, then you get the whole like Fast and Furious thing. You need that one buzz, and then you're like,
But
that truck I spent a little on, now I can resell it for like $300,000 or something, right?
So we have no, she's not that good, but we had so much help building her, and that's what I'm saying. I had a lot of backup when it came to to building the truck. I mean, like I said, the old school, it was something when we got her. We've owned her for 4 years now.
Yeah,
it was barely coming back, now. Today it's crazy. I mean, when I started the magazines 2 years ago, someone told me you only have a handful of old school trucks to shoot. Now it's like we have so many, and there's so many even on your side of town.
Mm-hmm.
They're all over the place. But yeah, we had a lot of support building that truck, and I think it was because it was for a female.
Yeah.
I'm not a mechanic. I don't know how to paint. I don't know how to weld. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I know what I wanted, and what I picked the color. I picked everything she has on it.
Yeah.
But we did have a lot of support building her.
Yeah.
But,
that's awesome. The one thing that I love, and I think it's been both the hot rod community, the low rider community, especially club. Maybe I say club mentality to it, but there's just something about these groups when you have everybody has a passion, and when you come together, there's never any question. It's we need to come together for this, and everybody just raises their hand and goes. And that's something that I don't have as much. I guess the word is experience from, places outside of the, northern like New England area down to like New York. I do have a community that is in Virginia and going south like that. But that thing is the ones I've got up here is just the second everybody's like, well, we're going to do this, or we're going to do this for charity or something. Oh, yeah. Everybody raises their hands and they come running, and you know what I mean? It's huge. So, and this is something that I wanted to bring over to, and it's a crazy statement here, or a question, or however you want to word it. This is something that I wanted to kind of put to everybody. So everybody in here, and David, you're going to get one too. So, and I'm going to start down here with ECS Dana, and we're going to go back up the panel as we go. What would you say to women right now that we're getting into the car world? Not just now, it's not just cars, but in other words, if you wanted to do photography, if you wanted to do, I'm going to do a race car, a drift car, a drag car, a mini truck, a lowrider, something new, something old, whatever, what would be your suggestion to any woman getting into this now, and say something maybe that's specific to now, or how things were different versus before? And I'll start with that with Dana. You go ahead and take that. What would you say to women today?
If you're interested in cars, trucks, SUVs, motorcycles, whatever it be, even if you don't want to actually get into the car show scene, but you want to become a photographer for that matter, do it. Start small. Somebody will notice you. Reggie noticed me. That's where I got my start, other than, going to shows before Reggie noticed me. And then now I also do photography for one of the big car dealerships here. So it's a full-time job as well as on the weekend job.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. All right, Amber, you're up. You next. What would you say?
Don't let anybody tell you not to do it. Follow your heart, follow your passion, and just do it. Just do it. and don't let anybody stop you.
Right. All right, David, you got it, man. This is you. You're representing the guys here.
There we go. There we go. So my take would be that if there's any time, this is the best time to do something like this. The car community in general is very accepting of everybody right now. So whatever you do, as far as whether, like you said, photography or doing painting or welding or whatever, as you said, I think that everybody's just embracing whatever you do in the community. This is pretty much the time to say, hey, I'm jumping in. Let's do this. It doesn't matter, if you're a girl, because it's one of those times where, like, let's just see what you bring to the table, and we're just going to have some fun with it. And it doesn't matter, because everybody out there right now is just looking for the new thing. Doesn't matter what you're driving, what your photography or whatever it is. I think the scene is open to everybody and anybody right now. And if you're, female that wants to get into whatever your passion is, do it this year, do it right now, pick up that camera, just go out there and just say, hey, let's go have some fun and roll with it. And whatever comes with it, just ride it, because it's a lot of fun. And I've met a lot of females that do all that type of stuff, and their passion is second to none as far as what they want to do out there. So yeah, make it happen. 2022, just go out there and enjoy yourselves with whatever you do.
Yeah, and I think it's not like I said. I think we've been dying. They always make this statement about, like, guys are afraid of strong women, and maybe it's just this car scene, because I'm like, I've never been afraid of a strong. In fact, that's the thing I've been looking for. I love my wife because she is a strong woman, and it's like, it's somebody that I look over and I say, when we're doing something, you want to have somebody that you can count on, that when the crap hits the fan, that they're going to be able to step up their game and go 100%. Now, what I find cool about that is I think a lot of women have that skill and can do it, and just, you know what I mean? It's like, it's in just being able to come into this. Everybody here, I've never heard, like you said, we just ask that question. Has anybody ever in the scene ever told you, don't be a woman in the scene? And you notice that it never happens. And that's the thing is maybe it's a car scene thing. I don't know what it is, but it's just something that we were just dying to have women. And I want to see more women doing more stuff. And for me, every time I see it on social media or I see whatever, it's just been a snowball effect. And it's so exciting to be able to say, we're right around the corner from seeing the first female. Well, we had females in the past, but like this prolific, like Danica Patrick was in NASCAR. You know what I mean? All these different female racers are getting into it. And it's not just one or two now. There's a whole troop of them out there that's going, we want to do this. And there are people that are, these racing industries are putting money directly into them to give them that opportunity. And I think it's awesome. So before I get over to you, Miss Patty, for your input, Joel, women need to just do and not be afraid of not knowing. There are a ton of guys who don't know what they are doing and get along fine. Should be the same for women. They just need the desire and the drive. And I'll be the first person to say, I have no idea what I'm doing. So anyway, Miss Patty, you're definitely up. So yeah, go ahead and hit the world with what you got.
For all the women in my scene that are getting into the old school, don't get discouraged. You have to remember, these are old trucks. If your truck breaks down, my truck's been in so many tow trucks that I lost count.
Yeah.
And I had a friend that she just built a beautiful 720, beautiful. And she calls me, my truck broke down in the middle of the freeway, and she's freaking out. I go, you have to remember they're old truck, they're 30-some-year-old trucks. Yeah. So just I tell them it's part of the game. Yeah. Just, get that tow truck, get it towed and fix it, and you're back on the road. And it was just like a gas fuel thing, or
do women want them just to run and just not break down? I mean, because for us, it's part of the thing. Like, we love the idea of a vehicle breaking down because it gives us something to do. And look at Amber over there. Go ahead, Amber. Yeah, say it.
No. I invested in a truck and a trailer because my shit was breaking down all the time.
Right?
It happens. It happens. But
I lost count.
Yeah.
I lost count.
I got a broke down one now.
Yep.
Yeah.
You put it on the trailer, you winch it on the trailer, you take it to the shop, and you rebuild it. You figure it out.
Not anymore.
That's just what you do.
Yeah.
My
So
husband's
you're
always correcting me that she's fine now because they did the motor swap. But before the motor swap, she was breaking down all the time. But I tell the girls, it's part of the game. You have to understand it's part of the game. You know, it could be fixed. I mean, she was going down all the time. So he finally said, we're doing this. What do we got, a K24? I don't know these things, but we did this. That also, I want to also tell the ladies that are getting into, like, my other part, it's the magazine. I did get a couple people, oh my God, a woman is running a old school magazine. How dare she? Or
nice.
I have my husband, he's my advisor. He's my old school. We're a team.
Yep.
I take pictures. I do layouts. He gives me the ideas. He tells me what's old school, what's not old school, so we're a team. It's not that it's just a woman running a magazine. It's like, yeah,
Well,
it's a woman.
that's true of any organization. That's the thing is I'm going to say this, and that people, it's so evident in the car world versus like, so in other words, when I do film, a lot of people say, well, you do it all by yourself because you know certain things. And yeah, sure. Okay. I do that, but it's always a team, and it's ever more relevant when it comes to the automotive world, because I don't care who you are. You can't build every part yourself. You can't do everything yourself. You're always going to reference a book. So even if it's just you doing a kit car somewhere by yourself, somebody put that kit car together. Somebody put all that stuff. There's always a team, and it's always made up of all different sorts of people from all different walks of life, people with all different kinds of stories. And that reminds me, because that's why we made this show. You're watching ECS Magazine's Hangout, presented by ECS Magazine and sponsored by Control Freak, controlfreakcompany.com. This is the place where all of us come together and talk about this automotive world. If you just tuned in right now, tonight's topic, this is the ladies of the automotive industry. And we have a whole great panel here, except for David, who is a man, but he's given us the best input he can. I mean, we're guys, we're definitely fallible. So, I mean, that's our job right now, right, Dave, to just come in here and say, let me explain to you how good we guys screw stuff up. So, so there's a Let's Talk Live just said, make sure you upvote. And thank you very much from him. That's my boy Brian over there, who is a co-host on one of my other shows. So I do appreciate coming over, getting everybody the big word. And we have a special guest as always on tonight. Brandon, why don't you say hello and introduce yourself, buddy?
What's going on, guys? This is Brandon with Control Freak, one of the sponsors here on the live feed. If you don't know about it, you're about to know about it. What it is a wireless Bluetooth controller for any 12-volt accessory for your ride. You can do anything and everything from door poppers, actuators, LED lighting, anything 12-volt. You can do momentary, which is like on, off, on, or you can do latched, which is a constant. And we offer a voice command feature, so you can tell your vehicle to roll the windows down, and roll the windows down for you. You can do air ride and, tell it raise the front up. It'll do it for you.
Weren't you going to roll something out this show today? I thought we were going to have some kind of rollout. Was it like maybe here he goes. He's getting up.
Yeah, I almost forgot, man. I got to show you guys Miley. Good thing you said that, because I would have forgot. She's ugly right now, but this is a work in progress. How do you turn this camera around the other way?
Like that. You just press that little button.
Y'all know how to do it? Because I sure
Yeah.
Press that. Oh, yeah, the little one. Can't find it.
Mm-hmm. That's the one. Yep.
Hold on.
Well, you can turn it around too.
Hold on. Well,
Would any of the ladies like to go over and show Brandon how to fix this?
yeah, I definitely need to. Anyway, hold on. That's old Miley there.
Nice.
The old big girl, bagged on 22s, fully shaved. It had Control Freak on it a while back before I sold it. I got it back recently because I needed it. So, but yeah, we did everything from power windows on this thing. We did shaved doors where we could open the doors. Control Freak on it. Super cool little deal. And I got something right back here we're working on also, a 94 Civic 4-door that will be put on air cylinders here pretty quick. So,
Nice.
yeah. Lots and lots of projects here.
Yep.
It's time.
Well, we all
Time, right?
yes, everybody needs time. Well, we're glad to have Brandon on the chat as always. One of our not only just a sponsor for the show, but a great conversationalist. In your Texas area, right? Texas, Oklahoma.
I am Western Oklahoma, and I'm probably 2.5 hours from Amarillo.
Yeah, there you go.
Way Western Oklahoma.
All right, so I'm going to jump back over because I need to go through. We didn't ask something important, and I'm going to start with Amber here. We know what Miss Patty has her 85 Nissan and the 92 Suzuki, but I didn't catch what projects you're going through right now.
I got an 88 Mazda B2200 on air ride right now. She's purple.
Nice.
I'm fighting with my valve block right now, so I need to rebuild it. But temporarily fix. We put a Y valve on it because my rear is starting to leak real bad, and now it's starting to, what is it? Backfill. So when the compressor comes on, it's starting to lift up automatically. So we're supposed to go to Mini Nats next week, and I don't know if I'll be able to cruise my truck on the strip, because if I do, it'll be like ridiculously high.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, shoot me a message. I can help you fix that.
All right.
Well, I was
basically what's going on is you're anyway, there's a valve in there that's not supposed to let it go the other way.
Good job, Brandon.
Well, my solenoids are bad. I got 2 solenoids that are bad too, and to overnight them from the solenoid shop, from AccuAir, the company that bought AccuAir, it's like $180 just to overnight it, and that's not feasible for me. So we just did a temporary fix to get to Mini Nats. Yeah. So when we get back from Mini Nats, I'm gonna tear it all apart and probably redo it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, holler at me too, because we do offer air ride stuff with Control Freak. So,
all right, I'll definitely do that.
Well, that's the thing is at my age, rear leakage and valve block are huge problems too. So I know how you feel.
Well, the truck was built for like 15 years, and I should have been doing regular maintenance on it after I bought it, and I didn't. So that's my bad. Yeah.
Mine's more fried food, but anyway,
right.
Look at Reggie over there. He's all messed up now. Okay. ECS. Yeah, exactly. Oh, don't get me started. That right there alone, that's the end of the world. Oh my God. And that's the thing is ECS Dana, what vehicle are you riding right now? Or the one you said that was need work?
I've got 2. I've got a 2004 Chrysler PT Cruiser wrapped with flames, which it's fixing to is in the process of getting the flames pulled off and getting rewrapped.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've also got a 99 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Both of the vehicles I compete in with NSPL. The PT Cruiser I took NSPL World Championship for single sub 12 year before last year. And the Jeep, it competes as well.
Nice. So that's the thing is do we have a lot of basically like show winners in here, right? You guys have pulled in a lot of like trophies. Miss Patty, how many trophies do you think your vehicles have pulled in?
Oh gosh, she got a couple. The last one was in Laughlin.
Mm-hmm.
We were just in Laughlin for what was the show again?
Show and Shine.
I'm getting a blank here.
Forbidden Fantasy, Show and Shine.
Forbidden Fantasy. Forbidden Fantasy.
That's on my list to go to next year.
Nice.
We were there. We were the only old school truck there, and she came home with a trophy. So I was happy because there were so many beautiful rides. There were so many. Amber, look me up, girl. We're working on something for the new school, so look me up.
We're making connections here too. This is awesome.
I'm always down to meet new people. I love making friends.
Amber, have you been featured in the magazine yet?
I've not been featured. It is a goal of mine. But you know what? My truck makes me I get to meet new people and I get to make memories, and that's the best part of it.
Well, I'll just tell you, I know this lady named Miss Patty, and she has this mini truck era mag. I don't know, but
no, our
she
magazine
might be talking to some people that were on the ECS magazine show, and
mini truck era magazine. It's all old school. That's it's an era. I would
Oh,
say it's an era.
find
But
I mean, my
that
truck's
way.
But-
an 86, so.
but we're working on, we might be working on a special edition where old school meets new school kind of thing.
Ooh, okay.
To show the difference and to bring us together, because we need to come together. I was kind of sad that was the only one at Laughlin. I was like, where are the old schools?
Mm-hmm.
I was like the only 720, the
Yeah.
only one there. But it was kind of like you say, you meet a lot of people. We have a lot of friends in that side of the world.
Yeah.
In the new school, we have, there's a lot of them. So we had a good time. It was just, I wish we had more old schools there. So I think this way, by bringing the old school and the new school together and put it inside, not versus, because that's putting us against each other.
Right.
But I'm thinking old school meets new school.
Right.
And put two of them together and take pictures of them together. And I think that's a way of bringing us all together.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we'll hit shows together more often.
Well, if Vinny is still in the chat, it always weirds me out because what'll end up happening as I see these car shows and I go through them there, they say I want to say pre-60s, which is basically like saying no 70s.
Yes.
And then I see the other groups and they're like 80s and 90s. And I'm the kind of the Miami Vice era, if you will. But
That's
then
who
I'm
we
like,
are. That's who we are.
right. So, but I'm like, where are the 70s guys? Those poor dudes. They've got I had a 76 Buick Grand Sport. I'm like, I'm glad I don't have it anymore. I couldn't take it to any shows.
We have featured a couple Datsuns.
Nice.
70s Datsuns in our magazine. So
Yeah.
it was also popular in the 80s. So why not? Anything the way I put it to some people, what we feature in the magazine is when we were cruising down Hollywood or Whittier, what would cruise with us. So we feature cars, Suzuki's, Hondas, Sentras,
Right.
and of course mini trucks, because that's who we are.
Right.
But I'm thinking we're gonna have to grow a little to introduce both worlds together.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, that's the thing is that has anybody thought about expanding out to other vehicles? In other words, I gotta say, David over here knows a lot about the cosplay cars. So he does a lot with the what do you call it? Cars like Batmobiles and stuff like that. And there's a lot of old school cars like that. Do you guys get much of those kind of vehicles, or is it more straightforward stuff?
Yeah, we haven't got a lot of those. It's mostly the mostly we feature the mini trucks.
Yeah,
because that's what's growing right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the old school minis, the bed dancers are just it's growing. It's getting out of control now.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't know if we were in Vegas last year, and half the showdown, half that show was old school, and I was like, wow, we were half the show was all old school mini trucks.
What seems to be the big popular mini truck right now? Is there something that really is jumping out at everybody and said, hey, if you're going to get a mini truck, like right now in the old muscle car guys, that's all the Nova dudes. They came out of the woodwork, and now it's like you can't find a Nova. You try to find a Nova, it's expensive as all get out. Is there any kind of mini truck right now that if I looked at somebody and said, hey, you should be thinking about getting a truck, what would be kind of, the end truck, if you will?
Well, if you ask me, I would say 720, but to be honest, when we first started, all our club is mostly 720s. But today, what I'm seeing is a lot of Mazdas are coming up. A lot of Mazdas.
Amber knows about that.
Mazda's bed dancers.
We just picked up another Mazda a month ago. It's an extended.
Yes, I'm gonna. My first shoot I'm having it's a Mazda from Relax Atmosphere and an old school bed dancer Mazda with a trailer. I don't know if you guys seen that one, but it's crazy. It's like when we started 8 years ago, we were picking up all the 720s. My club is mostly 720s.
Yeah.
But today, what I'm seeing is a lot of Mazdas are coming out. Right. They're busting out.
You got any input on that, Amber?
I mean, they're easy to build, honestly.
I hear that.
Yeah.
They're not easy to body drop, though. I will tell you that, because you have to see the frame, and that is.
Well, we don't have to worry about that in our side of town.
David, you were just over at that Connecticut show. Did you see much in the truck stuff being represented out there?
There were a few things. Yeah, there actually was a few mini trucks there, and it's cool that a lot of them are. I think it's one of those things where maybe it's, as they're saying, it's old school, it's coming back around again, because again, it's one of those things where you grew up in that type of atmosphere. Now you're old enough to buy something that what you
Yes.
grew up on. So they're looking for that
Yes.
Mazda that their parents had, and you're looking for the same thing,
Yes.
or find that truck again.
Yeah.
The
But or
nostalgia.
yeah. So there's plenty of those out there. But there were a few few trucks that were out at the show, and they're done, modernized, but they have their own take on it. But it's cool to see that stuff come back around again, especially when it's something from the 90s, because it
It's
blows
funny
your
you
mind.
say
when you look
that.
at
It's funny that you say that because we have a lot of young kids are coming out with old school rides, and it's funny to see 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds getting old school minis, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wow. But I hear that a lot, is that I wanted what my dad had,
Yeah.
or I used to go out with my dad cruising.
Yeah.
I wanted to get the same ride, but there's a lot of young kids in the scene today, a lot.
Yeah.
I think
And,
a
and
lot
I
of it
think
has
it's
to
funny
do.
you say that, because I get that a lot. Is that because my dad had it, or my cousin, or my uncle, or
Right.
And I think
think a
that's
lot of it
a
has
lot
to
of young
do
kids are
with-
bringing back the old school as well, not just
Mm-hmm.
us old people.
True.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it
There's a
has
lot
to
of
do
kids
with
that are
that.
building
Just like when
a lot of
S10s
kids.
were real big.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
no, I
starting
have
to kind
this
of die
young.
down a little bit with the S10s.
Yes,
Parts are cheap with the
yes. There's a lot
older
of S10s in
ones.
California as well.
Yeah.
There's a
They're-
club called SADS, so they have a lot of S10s. But there's a kid also here in California. He's in LA. He's building a Mazda. I mean, that truck is so era correct to our style that I am shocked that he's only 17 years old. But
Nice.
he was featured in our last issue. His beautiful Mazda,
Yeah.
beautiful Mazda.
Mhm.
But it's he is inspired by his dad, because his dad is an OG. So that's where he gets in. His dad's a lowrider, so they know builds. But his name's Adrian, and his truck is beautiful. And he's only 17 years old. And I'm so
Nice.
jealous of his truck.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's the thing is we have a lot of people that are in our area that they're truck guys. A lot of like the S10 stuff, like you were talking about, the smaller compact stuff. But they don't bring them out as much, and I don't know if that's, a lot of them have issues that they're still working on to get them out, but a lot of them do have jobs and stuff, and I think a lot of it has been to do with what we've had over the last couple of years has not been fun. You know what I mean? But now that everything is going back, I think that I'm hoping that this year I'm going to see them kind of get into their, whatever their respective thing is, and kind of really push it. So yeah, that's the thing. I wanted to, and Amber, you were talking something about some of the cars that you were suggesting over there, and I didn't quite catch. I think you got ran over when you were talking. Can she hear me?
Oh, did you ask me a question?
Yeah, I asked you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
What'd you
you
ask
were
me?
talking about something about the trucks that you were suggesting, and I didn't quite catch it, and I think you got railroaded over by some of, like, everybody was kind of talking at the same time.
Okay, so I said that, like, with the popularity of the Mazdas now is because the parts are cheaper versus like the S10s that were popular a few years ago, because everything was bolt on and cheap. But now people are wanting to go older versus the newer with the S10s. So I'm not seeing as many S10s here in the Midwest and the East Coast as I was, 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, what would you tell people? Like, that's something right now, because I've never done a truck, and it's something like I finally picked up my first F-150 probably about a couple of almost a year ago, I think, and there's so much to it that is, like, for my car stuff, it's very easy to do. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to do this, and now my car is where it needs to be. Versus when I look at the truck stuff, it's like lower, lifted, air, hydraulic, like there's so much stuff to it. And a lot of times I try to get, because it's a functional vehicle, you know what I mean? For me, I actually use it for things. It makes it weird for me to kind of figure out what I'm going to do to say I can both have the aftermarket work and then, have something that I can go to a show with while still being the functional truck that it is. What's some kind of suggestions you would make to people to say, like, hey, this is a good place to start? What would be the first things that you would do to kind of recommend for them to go forward in this kind of thing?
I mean, honestly, it's hard to say, because when I first started looking, with my husband having an S10, we went with Mazda.
Yeah.
I went full send. There was no functionality with my truck. So, I mean, yeah, I can haul stuff with it if I chose to, but I choose not to. He hauls stuff in his truck if he needs to. He uses it just like a regular truck. He don't care, because at the end of the day, that's what it was built for.
Right.
It just depends on really what you're looking for and what you're looking to build. If you're wanting something that you can tinker with and take to shows just to have fun with, I mean, honestly, it's just, I really can't answer that question.
Yeah, right. It's too much to it. That's kind of the thing that I'm running into too, because there's so many options, like I said, for truck stuff. And you guys are in something that is just, and it's a growing era of things that I think. And here's the thing, Miss Patty, you kind of tell me this: have we found footing yet, or is there still a lot more room to grow in the mini truck scene?
I think we have a lot of room to grow. We haven't seen, and my husband's on that list for that. We haven't seen the spinning bits. There's been a couple, but not really as strong as shows, I think. So I think we, in our old school community, a lot that we haven't seen again, that hasn't come back. I don't know if you remember the shows back in the late 80s, early 90s, where they had a lot of bed dancers. Now we don't have that many. I think they have a couple
I love that
competitions.
stuff. Yeah.
There's a couple competitions, but it's just like one club that's doing most of the competing. So I think we still need a lot of clubs to come out and more bed dancers, so we can have more people competing.
And can you kind of, because I think a lot of people out there too, because I kind of want to go both directions with this too. It's like, we both have the ladies that were getting into it, and then this is something that you can be more stylish with it when it comes to the truck bodies, because you were saying the bed dancer stuff, which I think is some of the coolest stuff. And you see the viral videos that happen on social media all the time, but it never really, you know what I mean? Like, you just get the moment. I don't think people connect with it much. Can you kind of explain that bed dancer thing, and how do you compete in something like that?
Oh God, I think that's maybe a question for the boss over there, because he's the bed dancer. I just watch and videotape, but I guess it's stages. How many stages do you have on your truck?
Yeah.
Right now what is the most we've seen? 5?
Wow.
4 stages. Four stages. So there's a tilt that just tilts. There's a diamond that has 2 stages, and then there's 3. Mine has 3 stages, which it goes up, side, and then up again.
Wow.
And then you have the 4 that goes the 4th, and then you have the bed dance. So I think we still have a lot of room for that to come back. More people getting. I don't dance my bed, obviously, because my speakers are so heavy, and I don't have room to haul anything.
Yeah.
I have enough room for a chair in the back, and that's probably it.
Yeah.
But I think there's the way they used to compete back in the late 80s and early 90s is that how many stages you have, or you're radical. They had the radical bits. I don't know if you remember, like the alien toy where it went crazy, or the other one. I forgot the other one.
Toy was legit.
Yeah. Right. So I think we still need all these to come back.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brandon. You were saying something?
Okay. Wasn't there I forgot what it was called, but there was a truck at Mini Nats last year that was an OG old school bed dancer that had the bed that separated and balloons came out and twisted.
I can't remember the name of it. I
love that truck.
Schizophrenia.
No, it's another one.
Schizophrenia, yeah.
Another one. They're in the east somewhere, yeah. Because we have in California, we have the alien truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
did
another
it
one
back
similar
this
to it.
See, that's what I want to do next. Like, I haven't built anything with like a Z-Rack or anything like that. But the way I went to LST a couple months ago, and there was a truck out there. It was a Mazda that had a dancing bed on there, and he was on air ride. So the bed was done as Z-Rack still, but it was done with air. And man, that thing was so freaking legit. Like, I want to build one now. just because like it's just so crazy. And there was SEMA trucks out there. He's driving through the lane and he's, dancing his bed, and everybody walked away from the SEMA trucks to look at his truck. And like that's what it's all about. You can see a SEMA truck all day, every day, driving down the highway. You don't see bed dancers anymore at all, really.
I'm dying to go to Texas. Drew helps me a lot with the magazine. I don't know if you know Drew from Mini Trucking Takeover.
Yeah.
So he put my truck on a T-shirt, and every year he tells me, "Are you coming? Are you coming?" And we haven't made it, and that's like on my bucket list. We're hoping next year we'll get my truck up there to LSD.
It's a really good show.
Cross your fingers. One of our members been there. I don't know if you saw it a couple years ago.
Yeah,
Toyota, red Toyota.
Mm-hmm.
He was up there, but I want to go. I want to go. That's on my bucket list. But I think that we have a lot of room to, and especially in shows like in Texas that don't see a lot of dancing, but like we do in California. In California, we have it, but we don't see it. I have to leave soon. We're going to Sunset Cruise Night.
Nice.
That's what we're heading to. That's why I told you I can't do it so late. But I think we do have a lot of room, especially in your side of town.
Oh yeah.
And I get in the magazine, we have a lot of followers from Florida, and they're like, I wish that scene was as popular over here as it is in California. But California was the home of the bed dancers and that scene back in the day. So it's only natural that California brought it back.
Right.
Today.
Absolutely.
Reggie, you had something to say?
Yeah, it's getting close to 9 o'clock, and we usually end this at an hour, but I want to make a few statements because I'm originally from North Carolina. Some of y'all don't know this. I live in Rhode Island now. When I started this magazine 22 years ago almost, there, like Patty says, there really wasn't a whole lot of females in the automotive industry in general. And if there were, they weren't getting the recognized. You can probably word it better, Primo, but they weren't getting recognized for what they do as much as they are now. Because you got people like Lacey Blair, you got a whole lot of greats out there. Georgia Aaron, you know what I'm saying? A lot of wonderful females that are.
That's my girl.
Not just females that are building cars, but you got females that are running businesses, imports, parts for that you don't never hear of or see because they're behind closed doors now. You got girls in the import scene. They're out there drifting and building race cars on drag strips, monster trucks and Jeeps and 4-wheel drives and rat rods. I've even chicks building rat rods now. Chicks getting like Dina, getting into stereo competitions and stuff like that. It's amazing how much this industry has changed in 22 years that I've been doing this myself. But I'm looking at Patty, I'm looking at all the different types of vehicles and custom vehicles. So it's a lot more burden on me than just focus on one thing. I see it all. So the women of the auto industry branches out more than you ever dream of. The only reason I wanted to do something like this, and we were having problems with the other females that couldn't get in tonight, which I really wish they could. For some reason, they weren't letting them in. Is because they deserve a lot more recognition than they're getting right now. They really do, and that's coming from a man. But I've watched a lot of females in the industry growing up, and I was in Mini Trucking Magazine and Lowrider and all that stuff myself, but it means a lot to me. I want my 15-year-old daughter to build a custom truck one day and end up in the show. And whatever she chooses to build, I'm 100% backing her up, even if it's not something I like. I don't care.
There's kids that are only 5 or 6 years old with 5 or 6 world championship rings, girls in the Mecca world.
Okay, I'm gonna say bye, and I want to thank you guys for having me on here. And
we're getting ready to go ourselves too, so
okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I gotta get ready and go too.
But thank you guys a lot, and I hope to see you out there. and Texas or Loveland.
You will.
Thank you guys. I'm out.
It's good to have
See
you
ya.
on. Thanks.
Bye.
Back to the building. Bye.
Bye.
But I didn't get to finish everything, but it's okay, Primo. You can take us out.
No, if you have something else, we got a couple of seconds here. Go ahead, get it up, man.
That I forgot.
You got with me, man. I'm telling you, buddy. Did we get old? What happened?
Because I mean, I do. I mean, Amber right there can, vouch for what I'm saying. I mean, there is a lot more than this little chat with just a couple of the few ladies in here. I mean, it means the world to me, but there is a lot of them out there that need a pat on the back and a thank you for a lot of things that they're doing that none of us guys can do. Swear. I'm telling you, there's women out there in the
Thanks, it's
auto industry
appreciated.
that can do more than us four guys in this room right now. I've seen
Sure.
it.
Yep.
And listen, in my honest opinion, I've seen, builds built by, women and stuff like that. And some of them look a whole lot better than our stuff that us guys do. And I ain't afraid to admit it. Like the color schemes, the patterns, like, dude, these girls, like, they just, everything is perfect. Us guys, we might cut a corner here and there. No, these women ain't doing that. They want it perfect and how they want it.
Yeah, but
We
what
like
I'm
what we
trying
like,
to say,
right?
Right?
I'm trying to say right now, tonight's topic was ladies of the automotive industry. It didn't really go down the path that I was hoping it was going to go. But I will say this to anybody that's watching it now or ends up watching it after the fact. If you're a woman or a guy or both, you're building any kind of custom car, any kind of custom vehicle and everything, come hang out with us on Saturday night. That's what I want. I want all different types, old, young, whatever. But ride a bicycle.
I think you have an alarm that went off.
Take us out. I'm hungry.
All right, buddy. We got some warnings going off in the background there, so I think that's kind of our thing. Joel finished off with that's just it. I have 2 daughters who I want them to see these ladies and realize girls can follow in dad's footsteps. And I think that's huge. I think that was probably one of the best statements that I've heard tonight, especially coming from the chat area, is the idea that, there's a lot of women that look at these cars that they've had or followed in their footsteps of somebody and said, we want them to have the idea that they can follow in those footsteps. They can make a great vehicle just like anybody else. And that this really is a arena, especially in the automotive world, if you will, that they can succeed and be the best that they can possibly be. That thing is, I can only speak for our industry. So, but yeah, I wanted to thank everybody that came on tonight. This is Miss Patty Pineda from the Kona Mini Truck Era Mag, David Morgan from Nexus New England, Amber Smith, female mini truck, ECS Dana, and then of course always Brandon from Control Freak, and then our always master in arms over here, producer Reggie, who runs the ship and makes sure it's all tight. And as always, I'm your host Primo, and we will be back every Saturday at 8 p.m. for East Coast ECS Magazine Hangout. Sponsored by Control Freak and controlfreakcompany.com. Make sure you go over and check them out. Rodney says, ladies, bring it and be fearless. So thank you guys for coming in. We're going to continue to be fearless and continue to bring a great show. We hope you see everybody on our panel tonight. And you out there, we hope to see you next Saturday at 8 p.m. as always. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back next time. And as always, keep rolling.
Thanks for having
See
me.
you guys.
Bye.
Take care.